Before we start this session today, I would like to pay my tributes to our beloved Guru, Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patri Sir, from the bottom of my heart. My dear friends, masters, and gods of the universe, I am Saroja Gullapalli. I live in Melbourne with my beautiful, loving family, my husband, a daughter, and a son. Before I start today's session, let me share just a few glimpses of my spiritual journey. My spiritual journey started on a beautiful afternoon of October 2002. I was in Chicago on a business meeting. It was on the last day of my 2 weeks meeting. Just in the middle of the meeting, I felt as though my life stopped and 3 questions peered at me, masters. What am I doing? Why am I doing? Is this what life is all about? Mind that was always running came to a halt all of a sudden. I found myself in this new space of stillness. Out of stillness peered the same 3 questions to me, masters. I felt a void in me. I was being drawn into this void every moment. No thoughts, no emotions, no words, no actions. In the next few days, my first spiritual guru, my neighbor, came into my life, who taught me meditation, introducing bliss into my life instantaneously. In that first sitting of meditation that I did for 3 hours, masters, that was the beginning of my transformation. Though my journey started in Chicago in that meeting room, my dear masters. Shortly after that, Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patri Sir and PSSM came into my life, which enhanced my life even more with his teachings on meditation, swadhyaya, and sajjana satsanga. Upon his suggestion and inspiration, I wrote the book Red Rose, My Spiritual Journey. Masters, I started my community work in 2006, where I started teaching meditation and do numerous workshops, as Devi has mentioned. Last year, I have quit my professional work to do my self-empowerment community work 100%. Since then, I have been busier than before, and that gives me great joy connecting with people and being of service to them. Thanks to the universe for giving me this opportunity. So today, masters, I have been asked to talk about Guru and Guru's wisdom. What a great topic it is. You know what? I'm going to talk about a Guru who is always there with us, and about whom our beloved Patri Sir has trained us so well. So my dear friends, today I'm going to talk about our beloved Guru, our own breath, and the wisdom that we have received from this great Guru, our breath, my dear masters. So today, for the next 40 minutes, we are going to talk about our great Guru breath, who is always there with us. I'm sure most of you would have visited the PSSM website. As you open the website, the first thing that you come across, to silence the incessant chatter of our restless mind, we need the help of our Guru, the breath. If you need good health and great peace of mind, you need to surrender and connect with your Guru, the breath. You all must be practicing meditation for some time, my dear masters. What happens when we meditate? When we are with our breath, when we are with the breath energy, the mind becomes rather empty. Then there is a tremendous inflow of cosmic energy into this physical body. Gradually, the hitherto dormant third eye begins to become activated. And by, cosmic consciousness gets to be experienced. Before we talk further about our breath guru, we need to understand some basic concepts of our life, my dear masters. We need to talk about what is an inner and what is an outer space. Your inner body is not solid, my dear masters, but it is spacious. It is not your physical form, but the life that animates this physical form, my dear masters. It is the intelligence that created and sustains this body, simultaneously coordinating hundreds of different functions which are so complex in this body that the human mind can only understand a tiny fraction of it. When you become aware of it, what is really happening is that the great intelligence that is flowing through you is becoming aware of itself. It is the elusive life that no scientist have ever found, because the consciousness that is looking for it is itself. My dear masters, lots of physicists, they have discovered that the apparent solidity of matter, it is an illusion created by our senses. And this includes our physical body too. This physical body which we perceive and think of as a form is nothing but 99.99% of which is actually empty space, my dear masters. This is how vast the space is between the atoms compared to their size. And when you look within each atom again inside this body, there is as much space again. The physical body is no more than a misperception of who you are. In many ways, it's a microcosmic version of outer space. So if you have heard the word Brahmanda, universe, if you think that the external Brahmanda is a vast one, then my dear friends, be assured that the inner Brahmanda is equally vast. So your physical body, which is a form, reveals itself as essentially formless. As you go deeper into it, the more you realize that this form is slowly transcending into a formless. This physical body, it becomes a doorway into our inner space, into our inner universe. Although inner space has no form, my dear masters, but it's intensively alive. That empty space that I have been talking about inside this form is life. This is life in its fullness. The unmanifested source out of which all manifestation flows, my dear masters. So that void that we are talking, which is within us, is that unmanifested source out of which all the manifested world that you see flows out of it. And the traditional word for that source that we always hear, God, the consciousness, whatever name you call, the Parabrahma. Ask yourself at times, am I aware not only of what is happening at this moment, but also of the now itself as the living, timeless inner space in which everything is happening? So, Master, it's not the outside space that things are happening. It is this inner space that the whole manifestation is occurring every second. Although this question seems to have nothing to do with the inner body, You may be surprised that by becoming aware of the space of now, you suddenly feel more alive inside. You're feeling the aliveness of this inner body. The aliveness, that's the key part of the joy of just being, my dear masters. We have to enter the body to go beyond it and find out that we are not that. Isn't that a paradox, my dear masters? To go beyond the body, you have to enter and go inside the body. And you really want to find out what you are, then you have to go inside this body, my dear masters. As much as possible in everyday life, use awareness of that inner body to create space, my dear masters, to create more space. When you're waiting for something, when you're listening to someone, when you're pausing to look at the beautiful sky or a tree, a flower, your partner, your child, or whatever you're doing, feel the aliveness that is within you at the same time, masters. And slowly you start to realize that awareness that is there in your inner body. This means part of your attention or consciousness remains formless, and the rest is available for the outer world of form. So, masters, what I mean to say, whatever activity you're doing at any point of time, be always aware. A part of your awareness should be always turned inside. Whenever you inhabit your body in this way, and when you start living your life in this way, it serves as an anchor for staying present in the now, staying connected to the life, to the real inner space within you, masters. It prevents you from losing yourself in thinking, in emotions, or in any external situations. Discover that inner space. How do you discover the inner space? By creating gaps in the stream of thinking. There is a gap between any two thoughts, my dear masters, whether you realize it or not. Even two thoughts that are very close, there is always a gap within that. Without those gaps, your thinking becomes repetitive, uninspired, devoid of any creative spark, monotonous, which is how it still is for most of the people on the planet. We all think that we need to think all the time. We are not concerned with the gap because we think there is no gap, my dear masters. But there is always that tiny gap between your thoughts. You don't need to be concerned with the duration of the gap, how small it is, how big it is. A few seconds is good enough. Gradually, they will lengthen by themselves without any effort on your part, my dear masters. More important than their length is to bring them in frequently. Get connected to the gap between your thoughts frequently so that your daily activities and your stream of thinking becomes interspersed with space. Space is very important, my dear masters. Just as in music, between the notes, there is always a gap. Any music without the gap will not be worth hearing, my dear masters. That is how our thought patterns are too. Without space, without gap between those thoughts would be meaningless for us. And this is where our guru comes to help us, my dear masters. Being aware of our breathing, being aware of our Guru, the breath, takes attention away from that repetitive thinking, my dear masters, and it creates that space that I was talking about, the gap between the thoughts. It is one way of generating that consciousness or aligning with that consciousness. Although the fullness of consciousness is already there as the unmanifested in you. But we are here to bring that consciousness into this dimension. So my dear masters, what I mean to say is everything is perfect inside. The consciousness is fully at its work inside. But we need to be connected to that fully perfect consciousness of yours. Be aware of your breathing, my dear masters. Be always connected to your breath, Guru. Notice the sensation of the breath. Everyone, each one of us has always lived with our breath. From the time we have taken birth to the time we leave this planet, we will always be with our breath. But are we noticing the sensation of the breath, my dear masters? Your breath is your biggest guru. Notice the sensation of the breath. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. Notice how the chest and abdomen expands and contracts slightly with the in and out of the breath. One conscious breath is enough to make some space where before was the uninterrupted succession of one thought after another in our mind. One conscious breath will make enough space for you between those thoughts, between two thoughts. If you can connect your breath once, if you can hold the feet of your Guru breath once, it will make that space between two thoughts. One conscious breath, my dear masters. 2 or 3 is even better. But even once in a while, if you can take one conscious breath, and if you can do that many times a day, this is an excellent way of bringing space into our lives, masters. And this is what we are lacking in the current day of humanity. Lacking space. Repetitive thinking, masters. We have to hold the feet of our breath guru to bring that change in our life. Even if you meditated on your breathing for a couple of hours, which some of us do, if you can do one conscious breath at one time, that's all you ever need to be aware of. The rest is memory of anticipation that you're going to have a thought now, or you're going to have the next thought. Breathing isn't really something that you do, masters. You don't have to consciously thinking that, come on, I have to breathe. Like if you have to drink a glass of water, you have to think. You feel thirsty, you take a glass, you go to the tap, fill it and drink it. So you consciously do that. But breathing isn't like that, my dear masters. It is not something that you do, but it is something that you witness as it happens, my dear masters. With breathing, you only are a witness, a sakshi. Breathing happens by itself. The breath guru is already taken control of the breathing. It's already happening. The intelligence within the body is doing it. The intelligence within you is part of that universal consciousness, the universal intelligence. That is already doing what is required for your breathing. All you have to do is watch it happening. Be a witness to it, my dear masters. There is no strain or effort involved. There is absolutely no effort. If I'm saying there is a show going on the road, go and watch it. Does watching create any effort for you? Is it a strainful exercise? No, my dear masters. If watching and witnessing is not a great effort, then witnessing our breath is such a simple effort. When you notice your breath, when you witness your breath, notice the brief cessation of the breath, particularly the still point at the end of the out breath before you start breathing in again. What I mean to say, masters, when you are witnessing your breath guru, when you are observing your breath guru, how do you observe it? With great respect. That's what you do. If a guru is there in front of you, how respectful you should be. That is the kind of respect we should pay for this breath guru. So how do we pay respect to our breath guru? When we notice our breath, we need to see when we have started inhaling breath, we pause and then we exhale. This is the pattern of breathing, my dear masters. The cycle goes with breathing in, inhale. Then there is an automatic pause. Then we exhale, and then there is an automatic pause, my dear masters. So when you are noticing and observing your breath, respectfully, you are at the feet of your breath guru. You carefully notice the air that moves inside the nostrils. You carefully observe when it stops. You carefully follow your breath when it goes through your exhale cycle. You carefully notice when it stops. How do you notice that? Many people in the beginning of this journey, they always have this question. Yes, we want to hold the feet of our breath guru, but how do we do it? Very easy, masters. If there are many masters here who are new to meditation, or have just stepped upon this beautiful journey of meditation, here is a small tip, my dear masters. This part is called the breath triangle. You see this 2-finger space between the nose and the upper lip is called the breath triangle. There is a triangle, my dear masters. So when you have closed your eyes and when you're inhaling, so if you want to notice your breath guru, then feel for the sensation of cold air that touches this breath triangle when you're inhaling. Don't have to worry anywhere else. This is the first point where your guru enters in. Pay homage. If your guru is entering your house, what will you do? You will go to your front door and greet him there. Will you wait for him in the kitchen? No. You will go to the front door with bowed head, with all the reverence in the heart, and you will receive him at the front gate. This is the front gate of your bodily house, my dear masters. You should be waiting here for your breath guru. So this is the small tip, if I can share with you. When you sit to receive this breath guru, focus on this breath triangle. With closed eyes, when you're receiving your breath guru, you will feel the cold, tingling sensation in this breath triangle. That is when you bow your head in your mind and welcome your breath guru. Then you carefully wait. When you exhale, you will again feel the warm, exhausting air from your nostrils on your breath triangle. It is that simple, my dear masters. Many people always ask this question. How do we follow the breath? How do we observe the breath? It is as simple as that. If you just observe this little breath triangle, the feeling of the cold air is your guru entering your house. The feeling of the warm air is your guru saying, I'll come back again. It's as simple as that, my dear masters. Many people's breath is unnaturally shallow. We have forgotten what a deep breath is, my dear masters. People who do yoga, They are being taught and trained how to do deep breath, because we have forgotten. As human race, we have forgotten how to be connected with our breath. We don't even realize how to do it. Most of our breath is so shallow. It just goes in and out, my dear masters. It doesn't even touch those umpteen cells in your body where it really needs to go and touch. The more you are aware of your breath, Guru, my dear masters, the more its natural depth will re-establish itself. The more you keep observing your breath, the more deeper it keeps going in, out and out. As it keeps going in, my dear masters, it starts touching all the cells in your body. And when your breath, Guru, touches all those kanas, those cells in your body, they all rejuvenate, activate themselves, and reheal your entire body. My dear masters, it is so important to understand the depth of your breath, because breath has no form as such. What do I mean, breath has no form? Can you even think of a shape of a breath? No. Is there a color? No. And hence, it is such a great Guru. Having a formless Guru is the best way to be connected throughout your life, because that Guru will never distract you. He or she will always keep you on the track, my dear master. And because breath has no form as such, since ancient times, it's been equated with the spirit, the formless one life. The breath has got its connection with that formless universe, the consciousness. It has been said, God formed man of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature. So what do you understand from this ancient saying is that the man was first made, but it was like an inanimate object or a toy till the breath of life was breathed into his nostrils. My dear friends, the German word for breathing is Atmen, A-T-M-E-N, and is derived from the ancient Sanskrit word Atma, spelt as A-T-M-A-N, meaning the indwelling divine spirit of God within. The fact that breath has no form is one of the reasons why breath awareness is an extremely effective way of bringing space into your life, of generating consciousness. Because masters, you must have known by now, when you meditate, you do not want to meditate on any object. Why? Because when you meditate on an object, you have to think about the object. You have to picturize the object. So what is happening? Your mind is functioning fully. If you have to chant something, then your mind has to come into play, because you have to bring into memory what you want to chant. So your mind is in play. When your mind is in play, then you are not in meditation, my dear friends. Meditation means going beyond your mind. And hence, you have to pick a guru which is beyond sound, which is beyond color, which is beyond shape, that can take you beyond this mind, my dear masters. And hence, the fact that breath has no form is one of the reasons why breath awareness is an extremely effective way of bringing space into our life. It is an excellent meditation object, precisely because it's not an object. It has no shape, no form. The other reason is that, my dear masters, breath is one of the most subtle and seemingly insignificant phenomena. You don't have to think much about breathing. And it is the least thing which gives you the best happiness. Whether or not you practice breath awareness as an actual formal meditation is up to you. Formal meditation is no substitute for bringing space consciousness into everyday life. If you focus on the breath while doing meditation, great. But even otherwise, being connected to the breath every moment will connect you to that inner space within you, my dear masters. Being aware of your breath forces you into the present moment, which is the key to all inner transformation. Whenever you're conscious of the breath, you're absolutely present. You may also notice that you cannot think and be aware of your breathing. You cannot do both the things same time. Conscious breathing stops your mind. But far from being in a trance or half asleep, you're fully awake and highly alert. You're not falling below thinking, my dear masters, you're rising above it. But if you look more closely, you will find that those two things, coming fully into the present moment and stopping thinking without loss of consciousness, they are actually one and the same. The rising of the space consciousness. You all must have heard the great saying of our beloved master, when you are with your breath, the mind becomes empty. My dear masters, you're all embarking into this great inner journey program. And one word you will repeatedly hear in this inner journey is awareness, awareness, be aware throughout the program. Every day, every couple of minutes, you will be reminded of being aware. What is this awareness, my dear masters? Most people spend their entire life imprisoned with the confines of their own thoughts. They never go beyond a narrow, mind-made, personalized self, which is always conditioned by the past. In each of us, there is a dimension of consciousness far deeper than the thought. It is the very essence of who you are. We can call that as awareness. In the ancient teachings, this is what that was called the Christ or the Buddha within. And that is what is awareness, my dear masters. The stream of thinking has enormous momentum and it can drag you along with it. Every thought pretends that I matter the most. Every thought wants your attention, my dear masters. The thinking mind is it's a useful and powerful tool, but it's also very limiting when it takes over your life completely, when you don't realize that it's only a small aspect of the consciousness that you are. Whenever you are immersed in a compulsive thinking, my dear masters, you are avoiding what is the consciousness. You are avoiding here and now. You don't want to be in the present moment, and hence you're engaging in the compulsive thinking. What is this basic delusion, my dear masters? Identification with thought. Spiritual awakening is awakening from the dream of thought. Thinking that is not rooted in awareness becomes self-serving and dysfunctional, of no use, my dear masters. The next step in human evolution is to transcend thought, to go beyond thought. This is our urgent task on this planet. It doesn't mean that not think anymore, but it means simply not to be completely identified with thought or possessed with thought. Feel the energy of your inner body. Immediately all the mental noise slows down around you. Feel it in your hands, your feet, your abdomen, your chest. Feel the life that you are, the life that animates the body, my dear masters. The body then becomes a doorway, so to speak, into a deeper sense of aliveness underneath these fluctuating emotions and your thought process. Another simple but highly effective way of finding space in your life is closely linked to your breath, your guru breath. You will find that by feeling the subtle flow of air in and out of the body, as well as the rise and fall of your chest with every breath, You're also becoming aware of that inner body, my dear masters. Your attention may shift from the breath to that aliveness that you're feeling within, which is diffused throughout your body. Take 2 or 3 conscious breaths, my dear masters. Now see if you can detect a subtle sense of aliveness that pervades your entire body. Take a couple of breaths, my dear masters, and see how you feel. Conscious breaths. Can you feel your body from within? If you start feeling every part of your body, feel your hands. You can feel your breath in your hands, my dear masters. Feel your feet. You can feel your breath in your feet, my dear masters. Close your eyes and feel your abdomen, your chest, your neck, your head, your lips. Every part, if you start slowly observing them with every breath, you will see life in them. Then become aware of the whole inner body as a whole. First start doing this practice in parts, my dear masters, and then feel the life with every part. And once you're used to that, become aware of the whole body. You may want to close your eyes initially when you do this practice, which is very effective. And once you feel your body entirely, the whole breath goes like waves up and down. And the life in your body, you can just see a rising, falling, rising, falling. So start this exercise and close your eyes and do it initially, masters. And once you can feel your whole body, you can then open your eyes, look around, and then you can still do this exercise even with open eyes. When you get so well connected with your breath, Guru, you can feel the life in every cell of your body, my dear masters. I remember once my friend saying to me about one of the incidents that happened to him. He said, someone recently showed me the annual prospectus of a large spiritual organization. And my friend said, when I looked through that prospectus, I was so impressed by the wide choice of interesting seminars and workshops throughout the prospectus. And then the person who showed the prospectus asked my friend, how do you like it? And then my friend looked through the prospectus and said, I don't know. They all look so interesting. But one thing I will tell you, you should add this. Be aware of your breathing as often as you are able to, whenever you remember. Do that for 1 year, and it will be more powerfully transformative than attending any of the courses that's there on this prospectus. And all the more, it is free, my dear masters. This breath guru is at our doorstep, free of any cost, always there, ready to be of our service. What a great guru we have had throughout our life. My dear masters, if you ever have a chance to go through the PSSM website, there is so much written about this great breath guru by our beloved Master Patriji. If you want to understand the science of soul, then you have to follow your guru breath and understand what is breath energy. Breath is our life. There is no life without breath. Breath energy is the supreme energy. Everyone requires this energy. Plants, trees, animals, birds, humans, all require this breath energy. However, this breath energy is more spiritually essential for the humans. But how do we get to know the breath energy? How do we feel its essence? The way is to try to become intimately aware of the natural flow of breath. To experience breath energy, we have to be with the breath. But how? And our master says, here is the methodology. Don't take long or short breath. Keep only to natural, normal, soft and easy breath. When we become one with this natural and easy breath, automatically our mind begins to become rather empty. When the mind becomes more or less empty, we begin to get abundant inflow of cosmic energy. Soon, something called as the third eye gets activated. ultimately making us realize our soul's true potential. Similar to our two physical eyes, my dear masters, we also have a third eye. And like our physical body, we also have an astral body. All this is understood only through the process of breath meditation. When we learn to place our total and undivided attention on breath, it is called meditation. And with more and more practice of regular meditation, we understand the total scope of the science of meditation. Through meditation, we can see our past and the future. Knowing the main milestones of our past, we come to understand that we have changed many bodies and that we have passed through many varied up and down life experiences. Finally, we realize that we are not body, we are soul. I am Atma Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. That means we begin to understand concept like we are everything, we are eternal. The whole subject that we are talking is called the soul science, my dear masters. Through breath energy, we understand the science of meditation, which is called Dhyana Shastra. And through Dhyana Shastra alone, we understand the science of soul, or Atma Shastra. Only after having a firm grasp of soul science can we begin to understand the basic elements of day-to-day life and living. How to speak properly, righteously, how to eat properly, righteously, how to feel properly, how to touch properly, how to walk properly. In fact, each and every point of our life, one by one, we start relearning, my dear masters. All this is nothing but enlightenment, and which is also called spirituality. My dear masters, we learn so much through this Guru, the breath Guru, who never leaves us, whether we are conscious of it or not, whether we pay respect to it or not. What a great Guru each of us has got. And thanks to Patri sir for reminding us of this great breath Guru every minute. Thank you very much. My dear Devi Master, I'm handing it over to you. If there are any questions, I'm more than happy to take it.
Oh my God, ma'am. There is no words to say anything about this session. What a wonderful session. I filled with immense breath. You taught us how to breathe, ma'am. What kind of respect we have to pay towards our breathing, which we took for granted. Actually, that is the wonderful thing. And if you take any normal session like Gurus, teachers, and wisdom, we have missed a lot of wisdom from this session. Thank you so much for choosing the breath Guru, ma'am. Actually, we just changed the way we breathe from this session. I I thought each and every one on this planet have to listen this session, madam. And you
Thank you
gave
so much.
much from the white to from the molecules and atoms to the Brahmanda. How that Brahmanda is in our Pindanda. What a beautiful explanation, madam. I never heard this kind of explanation about our breath, our Guru. If we understand our Guru within us, we are able to understand all Gurus exist in this world, madam. And thank you so much for choosing our breath Guru. And there is no words. You make me helpless because I want to note some important points. After 5 minutes, I just left because I need to write each and every point of this session if I want to make important notes out of this. It's each and every letter of this session is important. I want to listen this session again and again and again until I am be aware of each and every breath. I want to put some part of my awareness in my breath completely 24 hours rest of my life. So what a wonderful knowledge, ma'am. And what a wonderful method we are doing, being with our breath. You make us and you take us completely another level of understanding about our meditation method, ma'am. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
participant, if you have any doubts, please raise your hand. And there is a wonderful chance we have 10 minutes of time for question and answers. There is a great Bramavidwanmani. It is our honor and it is our privilege to have her in this platform today. Please raise your hands. I will unmute yourself. And please, Praveen Rakula, please, ma'am, unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. Unmute your. Please turn on your camera and ask your question.
Okay. It says post has stopped it, so that's fine. I mean, I just want to ask a quick question. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Your camera is on.
Yeah. Thank you
Hello,
very much. Namaste, Saroja ma'am. Really wonderful for enlightening us about the breath. And I was also doing some sort of research about the meditation and other stuff. Exactly what you have mentioned about the atoms and molecules. In my research, what I've found was when we go deep into the meditation, we find ourselves closely connected to the atoms, and inside atoms, we have the entire universe, and the universe is inside the atom. That's what I understood. And this is the same thing which Lord Krishna has shown to her mother. So is this really true, ma'am? Like, is this really true? And if it is so, then how long does it take? I know it depends on person to person and it takes time, but I would like just to understand like how well practicing can we attain to that kind of a state? If you can please let me know. That's all I would like to know.
Great question, Praveen. First of all, congratulations for even thinking about these things. As you said, you have been researching for some time. It really makes me very, very happy that you have such kind of interest, and it's not just superficial. You are now talking into the science of spirituality. So kudos to you. I'm really happy that you asked such a great question, Praveen. First of all, I'll try to answer your question in two ways. Number one, you asked as a question, is it true? And the answer is yes. Exactly what Krishna Paramatma told us in Vishwarupam. That is exactly, there is a big Brahmanda. It's much more vaster than what you're seeing outside with your naked eye, Praveen. There is nothing that we really can comprehend with these two physical eyes. When you close your eyes and get connected to that great supreme Guru breath, that breath, when it takes you to every cell in your body, you realize that each cell is a great universe within. And you get lost in that small universe when you connect to that. Now, how long will that take? Let me give you an easy answer. You may feel very good, Praveen. You have embarked on this great journey, which you call inner journey, isn't it?
Yes.
Let me not steal the thunder, because you will be taken on this journey. And if you really can connect to your breath, the reason I picked this topic, breath, is throughout your inner journey, one thing that you will be asked to do is be aware, be aware, be aware. And the question comes, what do I be aware of? Sometimes the same thing, because we are so used to, we sit in meditation and we lose track and we go into a trance. And many times we lose time. But you will see that this awareness needs effort. Like how you asked, being connected to every breath does not come that easily. It takes a lot of focus. If you can keep that focus, you can get down to that Andapinda Brahmanda level.
Okay.
How much time it takes depends on your spiritual journey, my dear masters. I don't know your past lives. I don't know where you left it, where you picked it. But the answer is, yes, it is true.
Yeah, a small thing, like I started this meditation from my guru like 13 years back, but I was not doing continuously. But when I started this, I started feeling my breath till my abdomen. Like I could feel the entire breath touching my stomach and going out from my lungs and through my nostril. And unfortunately, am very sad to say that I'm unable to feel that kind of breath these days. Probably because earlier I was bachelor and other stuff. Now I'm married, and
Yeah,
things like my responsibilities have grown up.
yeah.
Earlier, I used to feel that in my stomach. Okay, my breath is getting connected to the stomach. Okay, I felt it is inside my stomach. Now I can feel it is going outside my nostril. But now I'm unable to do that. I
Yeah.
cannot even feel here. But is there any better way or
Yes.
anything that?
It is. So, Praveen, I'm laughing because you will understand in my answer. When you were alone, Praveen, you could sit and meditate for hours, and you had very little distraction on your mind. So it is much more easy to feel your breath. You only felt till the abdomen. If you really put some more effort, Praveen, you could have even seen your breath going till the last point of your toe, because when I teach people healing meditation, I teach them to visualize that breath, and slowly they start feeling whichever part is hurting, to send your breath to that part. You can really feel it. For example, in one of my counselings, one of my friends had broken arm. Okay, fine, it was healing, but pain was quite a lot. So in the healing meditation, she was practicing along with me how to push breath to that part of the body so she can feel it, and she overcame her pain. So the answer to your question is, it's not only till abdomen, you can push it anywhere you want. But for that,
Okay.
respect to the guru, because guru breath is always there. Now the second part of your question, now you have come into the real life, my dear master. Now you are in Madhya Margam. All this time you are happily managing your own affair. Madhya Margam means you be in this world and also be outside this world. So now you are in the real life. You got a family. You are in this materialistic world. At the same time, you have to do that witness mode, Sakshi Tattva. How can you do that Sakshi being an object? You can be in the middle of the dirt, but you can be like that lotus which is in the dirt, but can still be so clean. How? By breath awareness. In my workshops, Praveen, this is what we have done. We have done a series of awareness workshops where the only thing I have taught or I have taken the session on is be in the middle of mud, and how do we remove ourselves? By being aware. So
Yes.
awareness is the only thing, Praveen. Be aware of every emotion that comes out. Why you're not able to focus on your abdomen? Because when you sit in meditation, before it was easy, but now you sit, there will be so many emotions going through. So when you start observing every emotion that rises, it will settle down, Praveen. It will take time, but my word, you will be able to go back to the same intense meditation.
Thank
All
you.
the
Thank
best,
you.
my dear friend.
Yeah, it's called Royal Middle Path. So yeah, I would like to give chance to others. So thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for wonderful explanation. And one more question from chat is, what is that Padma?
Padmanabhasthiti?
Yeah, Padmanabhasthiti. What is that
Yeah.
Padmanabhasthiti from chat?
I am so grateful to this universe. I was about to include that in my session, but I looked at the time and I thought I won't, but universe knew that I had to do this. Thank you, master, whoever has asked it. This Padmanabhasthiti is a beautiful breathing technique, my dear masters. I will take 1 minute to show you. First, let me talk about this Padmanabhasthiti. So, my dear masters, during this time of COVID, when the whole world was going through so much panic and chaos and saying, how do we get back our immunity system? Because what was happening in the COVID was everywhere. It was, if the immunity is down, then you are more susceptible to any kind of infection. So at that time, I started teaching my whole groups, like I have multiple groups on my self-empowerment platform, and I started teaching them how to practice healing breathing. The day when I was preparing for this healing breathing, I had this intuition, and the inner voice came out and it said, this is what is Padmanabha Sthiti. And hence the Padmanabha Kriya, which I am going to teach you, will help you. This is called healing breathing technique. It increases your autoimmune system. So your world is surrounded by viruses. You have no control on your external environment. But if you do this healing breathing, my dear masters, you can control your inner environment. So as I show, you all can practice at your own space. So this is a cycle, masters, like how I said, a breath cycle. So we start with taking an inhale. When you are inhaling, you count for 4. So now start with me and inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now pause for 4. Sorry, pause for 2. That means don't inhale or exhale. 1, 2. Now exhale for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now pause for 2 counts. No exhale, no inhale. 1, 2. So I'll show you one more cycle, master, so that there is no confusion when you do it. When you inhale 4 counts, pause for 2 counts, exhale for 6 counts, pause for 2 counts. Do with me once again. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Please stop. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause for 2. 1, 2. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause for 2. 1, 2. Exhale for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause for 2. 1, 2. So if you do at least 10 cycles of this breath every day, my dear masters, your autoimmune system goes quite well, because your heart is beating at a very good rate and it reaches a homeostatic state, which is very good for your autoimmune system. So during this COVID time, I have taught this Padmanabha Sthiti, this Kriya, to so many people, and it has been helping. So thanks for whichever master asked this question. Thank you for reminding. Thanks, Devi.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This technique will help a lot of people. We may take this short video and upload separately because it will circulate really well. Just while you're explaining, I have that. And thank you so much, madam. And now we are moving forward to meditation. But ma'am, if you have time, please stay with us after meditation. There is many people trying to talk you. They're very curious to ask some questions. If you have some time, please take some questions after meditation session. And in chat, there is so many gratitude to madam, and so many their heartfelt gratitude to because of today's session. They felt really good. They have a lot of clarity about breath, and they came to know. Actually, in this session, you explained really well what we are going to do in inner journey process, ma'am. Actually, it is wonderfully covered with that as well. So thank you so much, ma'am. Please stay with us. If you here, I will over to you again after this session for some questions, ma'am.
Sure. Let me thank you, Devi. Let me thank all the viewers on this platform. And I just saw a question popping up. Madam, where can we get our workshop? So my YouTube channel is Saroja Self-Empowerment Workshops. Very easy. All my workshops videos are there, my dear masters. Feel free. If you have any question, I'm always there. And have a great life. And don't leave the feet of your breath guru. You will never go wrong with it. And thanks for giving me this opportunity, Devi, and all the organizers on this platform. Thank you very much.